Call the meeting of the Ramsey County Commission to order. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before we get started today, I believe we owe a big thanks to Kevin for 25 years of service. So I think there's a sheet there, and I've got a pin for you here, and I'd like to give you a round of applause for all the work you've done for the county, so thank you very much. There you go.
You want your picture taken for the Facebook page?
Sure.
All right, can I do that right now?
No.
All right?
Yeah. There, how about we bring Kevin over here? Then that way we can get the whole commission in it.
We're gonna do what now?
Taking a picture. But I think if you can get all of us from like the second row.
Oh,
Something.
There we go.
Maybe over here.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna come back. That's what I want. All right. Smile. There we go.
Perfect. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
You know what may be.
I do, yeah, I do.
How many years you got?
25 years, imagine what they're gonna expect now.
How many do I got?
27, 28? 30.
Really?
Couple months,
Next month, next month?
in May.
In May.
Well, we'll be taking another picture shortly.
You're not even better, write that down then, huh?
Good to have
No, I will be the next
employees
day
that are that
after.
loyal. Very good. Okay, so the first item on the agenda is approval of last meeting's minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look those over?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Both same sign. Motion is carried. Next item on the agenda is bills. Everybody get a chance to look at those?
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second to approve the bills. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Both same sign. Motion is carried. Next item is financial reports. Candy? How did that search for the pot of gold coming? You find it yet?
No,
Dang it.
no, I wish I did, but. No, we're only a month in, so everything's, taxes are coming in. They're good, so.
Move to approve the financials as submitted.
Motion and a second to approve the financial reports. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Treasurer's checks.
Move to approve.
The motion with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Last item is the agenda. Do we have any additions or corrections to make to the agenda? Beth, did you want to be on the agenda?
Jeff would just text me. I don't know, if I'm added in or on his portfolio or.
Well, we can.
She was on the original agenda on Tuesday, and so I thought, since she didn't have a conflict, I'd have her come in
Yep.
and talk about the taxes.
Would you like to amend the agenda for that, Jeff?
I would.
We'll add that right after Kevin then.
Well, how about if we do it right first?
Oh, we can do that too. That's fine. Okay. Is that motion?
Motion to amend the agenda to include Elizabeth Black.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Aye.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other additions, corrections, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. And we'll go right into that.
Sure. Each year when I receive from the state of North Dakota the agricultural value per acre for the next year's assessment, I like to bring it into you. And I Did it get into your packet this morning? Everything kind of got switched around.
It's on their desk.
It's on the desk, okay. If you look at it, it looks like our agricultural land, the state has it 704.58. Our current valuation is 664.81, so that puts us in tolerance for this upcoming year. So what I think we're going to continue to look into, if that will work out, would be to update our soils, which we haven't done for 10 years, and we should probably start doing them every 5 years or something like that as they change, to keep in tolerance with how the state has us do the valuations for soils. And that, the highest increase on some would be 4%, and the lowest decrease would be 9%. So most people wouldn't see a lot of change, but there's some different areas that would from that. And that's something I'd work with Steve on, because it's all somewhat computerized on how it works out. I did last week email the new NRCS person, Benjamin Wentz, I think his name is, or Went or something, to find out who the new soils person is. Because I thought maybe we could get some information from them, but I haven't heard back. So I don't know if they've replaced Lance yet, or what Lance doing. He's taken a higher position, and I think, was he Fargo or somewhere like that?
Bismarck.
Bismarck, is that where we went to? Yeah, so I didn't get any contact information on anyone new yet, but I assume they're getting somebody in there if they haven't already. So they'll be able to give us some more insight on that too. And I did talk with Terry Hammond, the chairman for the Soils Committee, who will meet in April, so we'll be able to go through them and present everything to them. I don't see it being too many issues surrounding it. Steve, did you have any information on it?
That's 704, you think we're all right on that, huh?
Yeah, I think it comes out about 94, so you know, you could do a 1% increase. You know, you always kind of try to stay around the 95, but if we're going to do this,
Why Benson's so much higher than us?
I don't know. All that is, you know, a lot of it has to do with inundated land and how it's reported and that type of thing also.
More inundated in Ramsey County, that could be possible.
Possibly reported, yes, over the years. I'd never seen what they report, so I don't know.
Thought we were always lower, or higher than that. That's quite a difference, 50-some bucks.
I also am not 100% sure how they have,
How they do it, huh?
prior to recently, they were still counting dots, they call it, for doing their soil evaluations, and had a harder time moving into it because they didn't have the GIS and that drawn out. But the state just recently did draw out their parcels, I believe, in a
Yeah,
statewide
I
program.
don't know if they used it.
Yeah, we don't know exactly how it is being done.
So what's this 664.81, that's where we're at now?
Yes.
And so we'd be just looking at a raise sometime in June. Is that-
June is when you would, at our tax meeting is when everything.
Yeah,
gets
yeah, your
approved.
soils and all that.
I just always like to bring it in at the beginning of the year when I receive it, so in case it makes any
It's always
difference.
good to have a heads up.
Yeah. The other thing I forgot to mention in the last meeting, I'm not sure if you were aware of it, maybe some of you are. We were lucky enough to spend 2 days with search and rescue, and we took over 500 photographs of all of the lake shore in Ramsey County this last fall. And so what my plan with that was, well, first and foremost, it's great because there's some things on the lakeside that you don't get to see because you're behind the house and take it up there, you know, in places that have been there for a while. So you find decks and new garages and things like that. But my plan was to start adding in some of the lakeshore that has come out of the water that people are starting to use. But then it starts snowing, and it hasn't stopped snowing. So I'm not 100%, I kind of printed some maps with Steve and to see what to do exactly, but
You
that
said you had
was,
like 500 some photos?
yeah,
Really?
yeah. And we put them into our software and put them on, Steve has them kind of on a GIS map too. It's still there, right? The one that I use them up
I
there
haven't
somewhere.
changed it.
Yeah, so anyways, we have them.
So have they been adjusting some of this lake property, since some of these homes been selling for $800,000-900,000?
Right. This is the first year that we've had that, so that's part of our sales ratio for this next year. It is my
So
intention,
some of those people are gonna get a huge hit
no,
that live beside them?
not necessarily. A lot of properties will probably see a 10% increase for sure. We don't just do one house and not do the rest and that kind of thing. So
I'm only asking because I've had that question asked to me,
sure,
where if someone's property, they sold for 800,000 and the next neighbor sold for 800,000, what does that do for all the people that are in that area? Essentially, their taxes are gonna have to go up.
if we reassess the whole area, like if I took that whole area and reassessed it, then yes, that probably could. But more often, it'll be a slight increase of 10% over a few years and see where the market goes in the next couple of years. And so for some properties too, there's different reasons, like I think people understand, like our egg land, if a property has egg land, like a farmstead on it, well, the sales price might be 400,000 because of the egg land, but we aren't allowed to assess the egg land at full market value. So our value is gonna be lower because we can't assess all that egg land. The house is still only worth 100,000 maybe, but say the egg land's for 200,000, we can't assess. So there's different things that come into play on some of those too.
Any other questions for Beth? If not, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is extension office. I guess we will pass up for now and go on to Roger.
Couple of things, the lines we put up last summer for the heat, to keep the heat out, I guess it works pretty well for that. But I've heard a lot of complaints regarding the sun shining through. And they were never intended to be a sun blocker, more of a heat blocker. And I know as early as, well, last summer when they were putting them up, I know Cindy Olson in the extension office, she strategically hung an NDSU flag so it didn't glare on her computer. And we're getting, that's most of the problems, the sun glares on people's computers, and in some cases, when it's dark outside, you got the lights on, you see right in. Some people have issues with that. And up in public health, I just truly understand their issues when they've got clients in there. If it's dark out, like Lori Stevenson does night clinics, and yeah, we can't have people seeing in them. So I guess my question is do you want me to go ahead and try and find some other sun blocking shades that can hang? They would go up and down like this. Talk to Thompson's, and they have some already that they're thinking of. Actually, we got a couple of samples hanging up in the big courtroom right now for their court case to block the sun from on the computers and whatnot. So, and if you guys decide to go ahead with this, they would hang just right here, and they would raise and lower just like these do. So that's the option that Sally let show.
Any sense on what that's gonna cost?
No clue yet. I just wanted to see what you guys want to do before you even try and get pricing.
We don't really need it in here,
Or more?
or what?
Well, that's up to you guys, but I'm thinking if, rather than try and piece them here, piece them there, if we're gonna do it, we might as well do them all. You know, the ends of the hallways and whatnot, no. But in offices, you know, yeah, the person that's there now might say it's okay, but 3-4 years from now, somebody else comes in that office and they want it, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm saying if you choose to do it, I think we ought to just do the whole building.
They all have these,
Yes.
is that correct?
Except for the small courtroom. They elected to stay with their vertical blinds, and they're good.
Is it just this side of the building?
No, it's both sides. So,
And these don't keep people from looking in.
no, not when it's dark out there. And probably, no, the sun's shining against them, I'm guessing you wouldn't see it there now. But, when the sun is shining, no, you can't see in. But, when it's dark outside and the lights are on in here, yeah, it's like just looking in the window.
All the vertical blinds have been taken down. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. They had to, in order to put these up, because they mounted up above and they're the same way.
What do you think? Tough decision for me because I'm not in the courthouse a couple times a month.
I'm not the one that has to make this decision, luckily.
Well, give me some help.
Up to you guys.
We definitely have to get an estimate anyway.
I would say get an estimate and then go from there.
First floor needs it, we think, and
First floor?
the second floor.
Well, like I said, up in third floor, you know, the courtroom, definitely the big courtroom wants it because they're running an issue. I just saw Becky Nelson come in this morning with some more fabric to hang on the east side up there because the stuff I had put, it wasn't enough. They needed more. So, I know Bo had said he was fine, but like I'm saying, if we're gonna do this, I think we might as well do it all over.
And be uniformed.
Yes.
And why didn't the small courtroom go with this? Yeah.
They just decided they wanted to keep what they had. I guess the heat wasn't, you know, they were kind of all away from the windows. The heat wasn't as much of an issue as some of the other ones.
Do you have any idea what it might run? Prices?
No idea. I'm hoping it at least doesn't go any worse than these
These
originals.
were what?
Total like 34 or 33,000, right in there somewhere.
34, Candy?
So it might be, if they are no higher than that, I mean, it would be a little cheaper, like I said, we wouldn't need them in the hall, into the hall. So, and, I suppose they'd have to get estimates from, well, a couple different estimates, that's for sure.
Yeah. Should we put it out on bids or no?
Well, we wouldn't have to make official bids because it's under the 50,000, but we certainly ought to get some different estimates.
See what you can do, I guess.
Okay? Okay. Also, I went down to Bobcat the other day, and you guys should have papers there for estimates. The smaller, what's the number? The S70. They don't have any of those in stock. That's a smaller one, and they're not going to get any in stock for a while because they quit making them for now. The small and the larger Bobcats to catch up with the medium-sized ones. I guess those are the ones that are selling the most. So that's what they're focusing on manufacturing right now. The other one, the small articulating loader, they have one in stock. And you can see the price difference. And I don't know if Butler makes anything like this or not. You know,
They do, but there'll be market outside.
Oh, yeah.
Get bids, whatever.
oh. Okay.
So on this S70, does that include the same
Yes, they both included the
broom?
broom, the blower, and the bucket.
I just wanna make sure that that part's the same, so we don't get.
Yeah, they both.
So it's quite a bit difference in price, that's why I was just curious if.
Right,
that
no, they both include the same things.
But what you're saying is if we went with the S70, we would have no idea when delivery could happen, right? Basically,
Pretty
because
much.
Butler may be in the same boat as far as.
Probably.
This L-23, they have that one on hand, did you say?
Yes. That's bigger, certainly a fair amount longer than the skid steer, but height-wise, it's only like 6 inches taller. And I think width is roughly the same, but it is a fair amount longer.
You're running it, so which one do you think?
Well,
Did you run them both?
no, they don't have the S70 on hand.
Okay,
I did just drove around the articulated loader a little bit, drove around the shop a little bit, yeah, I mean, it's just like the big loader. I don't know, the guy there didn't think I could drive it, but I said, hey, it's nothing to it.
you didn't knock nothing down.
Well, if you did, we don't wanna know.
You didn't drive through any doors or nothing?
Oh, yeah,
I'm kidding now.
That's the.
but, no, it's, like I said, it drives the same as the big loader, and,
You know this
So-
particular one, you get in on the side or you get in the front still?
side.
So that part as far as accessibility is easier than getting up and down the bucket.
Yeah,
I
probably,
think
yeah.
that portion of it you're gonna like.
Would say,
I mean, it's like,
This S70,
yeah,
you get and you walk over the bucket,
yeah.
where the articulating one, you get
Yeah,
in the side
side.
door.
yeah, 70, you can't be a fat man and get there either.
I'm just thinking that for safety even, because I have the skid steer, and I looked at the articulating one. As I get older, I know I'm gonna want to.
You take that ticket.
I know it's more money, but
It's more like a tool handler, right?
yeah,
So you
more like
could
a tool cat than it is the.
Right, so you could put other accessories.
Well, steer, close enough.
Does the web steer
Well,
close enough?
articulating one to steer.
Yeah, I don't see where it'd be an issue. You know, with the long, going down the sidewalk, and I was thinking, well, with the articulated one, you're gonna have to go out into the street and then make the loop in the street and come up. But I don't think you'd ever make the corner with the smaller one either. You know, with the light pole out here, I think certainly the safe thing to do would just go down and make a loop and then come. I do that.
Takes 10 minutes
Either way.
longer.
Pardon?
Take 10 minutes longer to do.
Right, but I mean, you know, you're just talking, it's just a few seconds and, yeah. But either one, I think you'd end up doing that with either one.
Which one you want?
Well, again, this one, they don't even know when they're gonna get it, so I feel like the answer sort of defines itself if we'll.
The articulating one they have.
Yes.
Do they have the attachments, the blower?
Well, he didn't say that, but I guess they must, because it sounded like that wouldn't be an issue. I never specifically asked him about that.
Who did you talk to?
Austin in the end. What do I think? I think it's too damn much money for a frickin' snowblower, that's what I think. But
Well, I agree with you.
anyway,
You know, would it last 15, 20 years?
should last a long time, as long, they don't like anything as long as it's taken care of.
You amortize that out over a 20-year time period and it would last, you know, that'd
It
be
ends up being pretty cheap, relatively
pretty cheap.
You don't know if they got all the attachments.
I did not ask that question, but if he didn't, I'm guessing he would have said something?
You won't use it to mow with?
No,
There's nothing to mow with it, no ground to mow. Big
no.
enough to use it on, huh?
I mean, yeah, it's, for the small patches we have, no, But, yeah, it was easy to run and he said the cab, like Kevin mentioned too, on the S70, I guess is pretty cramped, and Austin said that too. He said the cab on the other one is quite a bit bigger, so. And we would have to get, put a shed up here for it, you know, our existing lawn shed would not be big enough.
Okay.
And we'd still keep our snow blower because the steps in front of the memorial building, we have to have that for that. And there might be a little odd and end here that we might use it, but, we would get rid of the four-wheeler, which belongs to the weed board anyway. And we have to, we get our, new generator in this summer, I mean, this stuff's gotta go out, because that bigger generator is gonna take up most of that building. They said it'd fit, but
Well, if we
it.
get one, it'll stop snowing, right?
We almost
Best
need a,
insurance
what you're
against-
saying is we almost need a two-stall garage for the stuff. that-
Well, I don't know about that, but, we would need a 7-foot tall door. And our existing lawn shed, it would probably have to be at least half again as big, at least. By the time we get the attachments in there, you know, we'd be losing a couple parking spots out there. So,
One car garage would do it.
oh yeah,
That
yeah.
would work.
And we'd have to insulate it and whatnot, so, you know, these things are diesel, and yes, they can plug in, we have to have electricity in there so we can plug them in. And then, you know, maybe just a little gray heater, electric heater like I have in the generator room, I mean, that keeps it warm enough, it's above freezing in there, so.
I mean, it's more technical, it's a one car garage, you know.
And there's heat in the cab, of both of them.
Yes,
One thing that you and I were talking about, Roger, is all the safety flashing lights and backup ding ding dings and.
yeah, they have that, I know it has the backup for, I saw that on here.
But I'd imagine a little tiny orange,
No, we just haven't put that on right away. I would just have them install that right away, so it's there, when you turn the lights on, it comes on.
And they have one on M.
Yes.
So is this something that we can use that ARPA fund,
COVID,
or COVID money?
COVID. We have $403,000 left of no strings attached COVID money.
And I think that was our initial intention when we asked Roger to get these quotes was
We do.
because we knew that it wasn't gonna be out of something that he had budgeted for.
Right. Well, we could take, you know, part of building the ground, or candy, or what else? And what do you suggest?
Well, we don't have I don't have it in the budget in buildings and grounds. You know, we had budgeted for the generator, but certainly.
Yeah, but we're gonna work on the generator coming out of the ARPA
Right, I
fund.
know,
Yep.
I know,
I think you had talked about a larger shed too.
yeah.
We had talked about that with the generator, we knew that was gonna be something, and I
I-
imagine you're looking at
Yeah.
4,000 for that.
Yeah. I would say to have this COVID used with the other fund, the building improvement fund, if you have to build a shed.
We'll have to build a shed.
So the shed does not take care of the fact that we probably don't have any room to store this on site right now, correct? Even if we did buy it, there'd be no indoor space to store it.
Right now, no.
So then, you're probably not in a position where you could even build storage for it until spring.
Right.
So that I think is the hard question here, is what do you do with the machine when you're,
So do we wait till spring to purchase it, or do we want it now?
We could keep it out there.
Keep it on the
That's an
shop.
option.
You move right along on the street,
County shop.
Pardon me?
how fast would it go on the street?
15 maybe.
Yeah, well, it won't take long to get up there. So we can, you know, shuffle it around that way till we get the building up there.
We got room inside too, so if you need it.
I think you'll be surprised that you'll use it for more than just snow though,
Oh, yeah.
once you get using it. Just back saver anyway, for you.
well, and it'll be really convenient once we have it on site, you know?
Yeah.
You probably feel like you need to wait for a big snowfall to drive it halfway across town, but who knows, we might get one of those.
I think it's gonna
It's
happen.
going.
Try and sidestep those.
The way it's going.
Well, we do this without Adam here, I guess, so, okay, Adam's in for it too, but we hold up to the next meeting,
I think Adam was all in favor.
favor, right?
Yeah.
Might give you time to get a quote from Cat, just talking out
I
loud.
think we ought to do that. I think that's a
It's gonna
very
be more,
reasonable
but-
piece. Do you wanna, I mean, just see if anybody can match or beat this price, just so if we go that direction, we've got
Yeah.
numbers in front of us. And then next meeting, Adam will be here and we'll,
Yeah, maybe you can go out and try what they have and see what you, cause now if you drove this one, you can just give it a swing at it anyway. And then you can probably give us our opinion on that too, which one's easier to operate, you know? Even if
Yeah,
it's
the
a money.
articulated steering, actually, I think it might be a little easier than the skid steer because it's got a foot control for, forward and reverse, and on the skid steer, it's all a joystick. And that's like the big, Bobcat, you guys, you know, your forward and reverse is all on the joystick.
Yeah, but speed is,
Foot pedal.
Well, speed is, but anyway, and that isn't that difficult either, but I just think just for forward and reverse, having two foot pedals would be a little simpler than having everything on the joystick.
but you're alright with getting us quotes for that?
Sure.
We should do that.
I think that makes the most sense, and then Adam will be here and we'll handle it at that point. Knock on wood that we don't get a big snow where we could've had this
Yeah. Oh,
before then.
That in the community.
When you say next meeting, you're talking
The
the,
15th.
this month?
Yeah.
Okay. Or,
Yeah, if you can do that. And then on the blinds, just whenever you can get
right,
estimates.
right. If I can have them by then, we'll get that.
Well,
That'd be just fine if you could, no problem.
Okay.
if we get a big snowstorm, they'll let you try it out then, right?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I
I
would
think so.
almost guarantee you they would.
They're kinda hungry those days.
Well, that's one thing that we can double check on too, is the availability of the attachments. You know, if they don't have those in stock, then those are gonna be a further delay.
Yeah.
You know, would we be better off waiting or?
Well, I know. I about guarantee you, I know Shelley pretty good. He would let you try it out
Yeah.
once if you were trying to make a decision of which one you would like.
Oh, yeah,
He would let you try it out to, okay,
Yeah.
yes, it's gonna work in our parking lot, in the close vicinities, you know.
On our sidewalks, yeah.
There's no doubt that he would let you do that.
So I think it'd be a great addition, so.
And maybe that's something that you could ask him, hey, could I just bring it up there and see see how it is? Then you know for sure too.
Didn't they have it right to show it?
Oh, it's outside,
Okay.
yeah.
Very good. Anything else, Roger?
Nope, I'm good.
Anything else from the commission? Very good. Thank you very much, Roger.
Thanks.
All right, Kevin, you're up.
all right. Okay, to start off, I had to get a new Michelin tire for one of the new motor graders. It had a little pinhole, a really tiny hole in the sidewall. So we did take that tire and get it booted, and we'll use it as a spare. And it's a pretty good tire yet, is the bad part. But anyway, the cost for that tire and mounting it was $2,544.03. So I'd like a motion to pay for that.
Move to approve.
Did we just move that up to 2,500? Is that what we moved it to? This is $44 over it? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of paying that bill, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
And then the carbide edges for our plowed trucks showed up. They were $4,255.55.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of carbide edges. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
And again, KLJ did some design work on the new bridge on 4, so that's an ongoing contract we have with them to this last month's bill was $2,576.32. Motion to pay that.
Move to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion is carried.
Okay, our new plow truck finally did get to Fargo, and we got it over to Burt's Trucking in Moorhead. So that's been put together right now. They said about 6 weeks, depending on all the other stuff they have in their shop, so. Right when it quits snowing when we get here.
Well, when the ground dog sees a shower, or
But anyway, at least it's here, right? On the right track there. Responsible charge is something that we, as a county, have to appoint for all of our federal aid projects. It's just, a county employee has to be in charge to overlook the contractor and the engineer. And typically, it's always been me. So, we get these for every federal aid project, and I'm thinking maybe we could just make some kind of motion that anytime that we have to have a responsible charge, to just make a blanket motion that it'd be me.
So moved.
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second that Kevin is made responsible for anything and everything that goes on. Or more specifically, when it comes to federal. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion is carried.
And then just updates, Penn Blade had an issue with his tow rope coming loose and it wrecked some of the fiberglass. We turned that into insurance, which is $100 deductible, but the estimate to fix it was about $6,400, just so you're aware. And also, this week, Monday night was it anyway, we had one of our plows slide into a pickup. We haven't got an estimate or anything on that yet, but we're turning that into our insurance also. Didn't cause much damage, it was a less than 5 miles an hour type impact, but
So the plow must be wrecked, huh?
the plow didn't get hurt.
I would know.
Yeah, icy. Last one, AT&T is building a new cell tower out on Military Road, and they want to put an approach out there, and I'm still working with them, so we don't need to take action on that now, but the first design they had the approach like 75 feet away from another approach, which, you know, if you went in the ditch, you did it, be like moguls, so I told them they had to move it further away. Well, it doesn't work out for them to move it, so we're still working on that. So we don't need to take any action on that yet, but
We can't use the existing approach.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do now, just have them use an existing control approach, then come over and into there. It's gonna have to be that way if they want it. 75 feet, you know, that's, well, it's not very far. And if somebody went in the ditch there, it'd be a heck of a ride.
Twice as far as this road, because all we did.
Right. So as soon as we get to the bottom of how that's gonna turn out, I'll bring you up to speed on how that's going. It's gonna be just west, yeah, just west of the fishing game. Gonna be a cell tower there. So that's all I have.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and thank you again for 25 years of good work. We expect 50 more.
I'd like to personally thank Kevin and Jason for being out on Rock Road Monday night. Big help, that sand truck. Got the cattle, a load of cattle sitting on this, down on the Benson County side, they had to get up. It was quite icy and slippery out there, that's for sure. My daughter-in-law was on the ditch with 3 of the kids, and it was very beneficial, Jason, coming out with that sand truck. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think there was 7 or 8 cars in it.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
And about 100, 300, 200 foot stretch, not many cars in the ditch.
Right. Terrible. And it's still pretty icy, but hopefully
Yes, it
the
is.
traffic will beat it off, I guess.
Nobody got hurt, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, our roads are bad right now, so I guess if you can support us on the complaints, so we appreciate it, 'cause we're having a hard time keeping up right now, to be quite honest.
That's what I've been telling people when they call, I'm like, we only can get so many places, so much time.
Kevin, maybe you could give us an update, not just for our benefit, but for those watching on YouTube and Facebook and that, on how our schedule is for when we have a storm, ice deal, snowstorm, and county priorities, and what your timeline schedule is for cleaning roads and,
So on a snow event, we're out, of course, the next day, and it takes, the trucks can cover all of our pavement and some of the gravel, and the motor graders, of course, all the county roads are covered that first day. But then for the motor graders, the townships don't like to see trucks out there on the township roads because they push too much gravel off. We do a couple of townships out, like the Poplar Grove, Creel, or area, because they simply can't wait that long. There's too many people living out there, and they don't mind that the gravel gets pushed off, so. But it takes motor graders at least 3 days to cover the routes, so. And then when we get like an ice event like this, of course, we still have to take that first day to get the snow off. So then the second day, we tack the ice, which would be starting tomorrow. We've got a spare sander, we dug that out of the line today, and we're gonna get it all ready to go starting tomorrow too, so. I mean, we just,
Very beneficial, very beneficial, I mean, you couldn't move out there. I went up to the Johns and got a nail in the back of my pickup so I could drive around. Threw it in the back, and I had to wait. 5 mile an hour, I mean, it was just, the wind wasn't even blowing, it was just, you go.
People just didn't realize,
You couldn't hang on to it.
you couldn't stand up on the road.
No.
there was no travel advised, they gotta realize that they gotta be
Yeah,
patient.
exactly. When the sheriff says no travel advice, they mean it. I mean, people should take that seriously.
and as far as salting or sanding, we don't have salt, and we don't have the liquid that the state has. So doing the entire stretch of county roads is impractical.
Right.
And so we're doing the intersections and where the extreme ice is, you know, in spotties, but I had a school board call and asked about that, because they're having issues with buses, sending buses out, and, you know, wondering if we have that ability, and we just don't. But for our benefit and everybody's watching, we wanna give them a kind of a timeline on what we're doing and how we do it and how we prioritize things. And certainly give you guys a big shout out and a big thank you for keeping the roads as good as they are. We know it's been a struggle, it's been a busy year, and ice on top of 30 below doesn't help.
An ice event usually takes us 3 or 4 days, just
Yeah.
because we're not really geared up for it.
It's awful slippery out there, and we remind people to be careful.
One cattle sitting down there at the county, had to try to move it off.
Yeah.
And they needed that sand truck, that truck to move it, so.
Right,
I hadn't heard, like Kevin told me today, when the sand truck tried to come back across the lake, was blowing that around, the wind was blowing that around.
yeah. The
It
wind
was
caught it.
empty then, the truck was empty with sand, so.
Yeah, when that empty truck got to that lake, the wind just blew it right in the ditch. So then we had to get another truck out there. And then, of course, the cattle truck had to stop there because we didn't have any more sand to get into town. He spent the night out there. He was next to a bunch of trees, which really helped as far as cattle.
Mm. Yep, it was interesting couple days, so. Big thank you to you and your guys, appreciate that.
Had a couple, there 3 guys that worked 19 days in a row.
Yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good, thank you very much, Kevin. We'll move on to unfinished business, Ramsey County Planning Commission appointments.
no interest from the newspaper to Facebook to website. Nothing.
Guess we'll have to make some calls and bring some names in.
We'll try to take it upon ourselves, if anybody knows anybody that they can twist an arm. See if we can't get that filled for next time, move that back to unfinished business for next time.
Okay.
So under new business, mileage rate for 2022.
Move to approve,
Motion, do we have a second?
Second,
What is the mileage rate?
58.5.
Yep, went from 56 to 58 and a half.
Any discussion? Good,
No,
okay.
I'm just curious.
All those in favor of approving mileage rate for 2022, signify by saying aye. Aye. Same sign, or opposed, same sign. Hearing none, motion is carried. Site authorization.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor for the site authorization signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approve the order closing section line roadway.
You familiar with this, Kevin?
I know what they're talking about, I guess.
This was the Lisa Holly,
Oh, that went into the lake?
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
That's not.
yeah, this is just the final, step to make it,
They finished their portion of it.
right, that,
Before
and
we
that's
would
this.
finish
Yeah.
ours.
and we haven't made a motion on this?
We made a motion to close it, and now this is the final step from their attorney to, record it, to put it on record.
We don't need more motions, We don't. need
No,
another motion.
just for the chairman and myself to sign it. Yep.
You want a motion to approve that, or will you guys go ahead and sign that, or that's already been done, hasn't it?
If not, I'll make the motion to approve it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for Candy and I to sign the order closing the section line. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Cost participation, construction and maintenance.
That's the thing that we talked about. So the North Dakota DOT now is sending paperwork, which usually got mailed to Kevin.
Right.
Have now changed it to being done electronically.
So it goes to the auditor.
So it goes, it will go, first it will go to the chairman, then once he does the electronic signature, it bounces back, then it goes to the state's attorney for the signature, bounces back, then it comes to me, bounces back, and then,
Sounds very complicated, but
Yeah,
it works pretty
it's-
slick. It's not as bad as it sounds.
yeah,
But it's been, she's re-forwarded that to me, I think 4 or 5
I
times
know,
now,
I
trying to
know,
get me to sign it.
yeah.
It's like, I can't sign it until we
yeah,
have the meeting. But yes, this is just.
This is the way it's gonna be from now on,
Everything's going this
we're
way.
making a motion to just approve
It-
their
we
format.
would make a motion to approve it anyway.
But you're approving that I sign the agreement. Just do it. Okay,
It's just that it's electronic.
Motion, we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. And we're gonna move on to approval of the agreement for project number, it's on the screen, I'm not gonna read all that.
Oh, yeah, that's the same thing.
Oh, is that the same one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep, that's okay.
Oh, here.
Yeah,
Look,
it's all
yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Got it. So now we're good, I think, then we'll move on to visitors and delegations. Any visitors and delegations? Going once, going twice? Okay, portfolios, let's start with you, Commissioner Volk.
I had a meeting with Lake Access, the only concerns we have there, like I said before, they're concerned with the summer access of the lake and the winter access. We gave them $600 to open up another area over in Pelican. It was a one-time thing, as long as they can get it approved with Game and Fish to fund the portion of they were gonna get 500, and, Ace Hardware put up $1,500 for their first initial. And they were gonna try to, we were gonna clear the lot, and then after that, it sounded like the guys were gonna take care of the rest of it. So that's a plus for them, that the guys are helping us out, because we're getting pretty strapped for money when it comes to opening up all the access points. Recorder office, she said that, the contractor has a year done in about a month and a half, so that's been a good process there. Treasurer, she said 51% have been collected so far, so it's gonna be a busy 2 weeks. And then the fair board, last meeting, we had a video conference, the individual help write grants for that building.
Great.
So there's a person that's willing to help write a grant to help us out with that.
So the fair board.
Yep. So that's all I have.
Very good. Commissioner Brown?
Yeah. Met with the senior meals and they need a dishwasher. And then we decided on what side we need yet and the flooring around the dishwasher, they want to redo that. It's original for the building, both beings are. So I told them to get prices and look into that, to help them all with that. And the jail, going good. Looking for the new captain the end of this month, 1st of March with it.
Yep.
Our numbers holding there?
Yeah, no problem, we're going to and we're up to 65 level hours. Another month or so, we can apply for the 80, go up to 80 again.
That'd be, that'd be great.
Yeah, a couple months, I think.
Everything's going good, and looking forward to that new captain.
Because right now they're maintaining the 65, right?
Yeah, we're making it. And it's going good. They're difficult finding out, you know, removing applications and so
Even after we bump that, they're still having trouble.
yeah. All the jails in North Dakota are, I mean, that'd be a huge problem. Walsh County, Grand Forks, Fargo, they're all having trouble. Well, that's all I got.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Fred?
Well, the airport, we decided to make our interim manager permanent, Scott Cruz. He was one of the finalists when we had that job opening before, and he's been doing a really great job in the interim, and so we felt very confident in promoting him to full-time manager and take the interim off the first part of the deal. Him and our board chairman, Dennis Olson, have been really putting in a lot of extra time in, making sure that we stay and meet all the compliance checkoff lists that the FAA had established for us. And we continue to move forward with plans for terminal expansion and an additional fire facility for our equipment out there. I think we ended up with close to $16 million in ARPA funds. So, and we have an engineer and an architect working on different things like that and coming up with plans, and terminal expansion will probably just about double the size of the terminal, and same thing with our building, the fire airport support facility is going to be bigger, and then we're going to move our administrative offices from the terminal into our current location, so then we'll have a little bigger area for that as well. So, but all that money, kind of the same time of timelines that were set for with our money, obligated by the 24 year and spent by the 2026. So moving right ahead with all those expansions. We're looking at hiring another staff and part-time administrative assistant, just to keep everything moving smoothly out there. So Beth, we got her update from the tax office, sheriff's department, Steve's been busy down there, he was certainly busy Monday night with the weather that moved in, so appreciate Sheriff Nelson and his deputies for all that they do, and so far so good.
Very good. From my perspective, Cammy and I are gonna have a quick meeting right after this to set up the agenda for the county's ARPA fund committee. And the only thing that I think I probably forgot to mention at the last meeting that might be pertinent is the committee decided, at least on a preliminary basis, that no more than half of the ARPA money would be spent on internal courthouse endeavors. So that they wanted to see half of it spent on external things, out in the community, wherever it can make an impact. The final rules came out for that also, so this will be a good time to meet, and I expect that committee will start meeting fairly regularly until we've come up with a set of proposals for the county, and you'll be seeing those then. I talked with Al McCabe this morning. They're still in the process of looking for a new head for district health. He said that they had 12 applicants as of this morning that were qualified, so we'll see what we end up seeing from that.
That's good.
Yeah, I was surprised. You almost never see 12 applicants in this day and age, almost any. He said the problem that they're having is a lot of them wanted to work remotely, which is not acceptable. But apparently, everybody else was surprised to hear that. He said he has tons of people asking him if it's a remote job.
It's kind of like a hands-on deal,
A
isn't it?
little hands-on, yeah.
A lot.
And Candy, am I missing anything else? Does that seem like well covered?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I can't think of anything too big that's been going on, so.
Did the ARPA funds get approved for road projects? I mean, I heard talking, but I don't.
I'll have to, we'll
I
have to,
think it's in that final,
From the state?
For this committee that's set up?
yeah, the committee.
So that's above what we've got? Oh, cool. If it happens.
But it's in, I'm not, I can't understand it, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
You must gotta be a lawyer to read it.
There's so many gray lines
well, that,
Over 400 pages long.
or just reading the one.
Well, and the one that's like down further where it gave just like a quick overview, that's only like 40,
40 pages.
42 pages?
Did the state put this out or the feds?
No, this is.
Nope, it comes right from the Fed. Yep.
yeah, so as the committee, we'll be hyper careful.
Oh, I do have a, like an ILG, with the ARPA funds on Monday. I just pushed that out today, so I registered for that, so that'll be like an hour. It'll review things with, I believe Terry Trainer and Linda Stahovic are gonna be the presenters of the information, so that will help with their meeting on Thursday.
You have that 42-page thing on pages? If you do, can you send it?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we'll be giving everybody
Well, it's just so you're,
next ARPA meeting for sure.
just so that I'm more updated, you know.
Yep.
It's gonna be one of those gray areas when we start spending that money.
Well, it's something that we have to be ultra careful of, because if we misspend it on something that isn't approved,
I'm
then
gonna make it up.
we're the ones that are responsible for it, not if we give it to another political subdivision.
And they misspend it,
and they
it's still
miss,
us.
It's
Yeah,
still
that's
us.
the scary
yeah.
part. That's the way I write it too,
Yeah.
that's the real scary part.
That's
But-
the
Don't
one
promise
way
nothing to anybody.
Yeah, no, the intention, my intention on the committee is to ensure that any proposal that we bring before the commission, we vetted it and we have some kind of process to ensure that the financing is gonna meet federal criteria, so. We'll take care of that on that end so that it's all buttoned up. It just might be a long process for those poor committee members, but that's all right.
Well, it's good, no matter what, it's gonna be a process.
Okay, is there any other business for the good of the order? Hearing none, we're adjourned.